my lovelies. Welcome back to the Shallon Entourage. Today I want to talk about something that we're all thinking about and that we're probably most of us are doing, which is swiping around dating apps. Now, I feel like there's a billion to choose from at this point. There's even ones about like how to connect with people who hate the same things as you do, which is kind of amazing. But today I want to focus mostly on one because it has a way different sort of like outlook and vibe than the others, which is Bumble. But before we get into this, just want to remind you guys that if you have your own private questions that you want to ask me, if you want to talk about something, friends, family, love, whatever, baking tips, because I always want to talk about baking, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO and click chat. And don't forget to watch the very end for my happy ending where we give a little sex or hookup tip. It's awesome. Okay, so back to dating apps. I've actually had really good luck on dating apps. I met two really awesome boyfriends off Tinder, and back in the day, I met a boyfriend that I dated actually for like a year off Match.com. In fact, we vibed so well just from the get-go that Match emailed us and was like, hey, do you guys want to be in a commercial? And we were like, no. I don't think so. I was also like too cool for that. I'm like, I was on MTV. I don't need to be in a Match commercial. So, and people like kind of dog on dating apps, but like really when you think about it, what was the old way? You put on a bra and pants, which like my two least favorite things. You get dressed up, you get a cab, you spend money, you go out, you drink calories, you go to this bar and hope that one of these like 40, maybe maximum dudes is like your true love. Ugh, tiring. You should be doing that as well. Like dating apps are they're a supplement. You shouldn't only be going to the bars. You shouldn't only be sitting home and swiping. It's part of a whole. You know what I mean? If you were looking for a job, you wouldn't only be on LinkedIn. You would be asking your friends. You would be mingling and networking. You would be doing a lot of different things to get the goal you want. When you want to do anything, when you want to lose weight, get a job, get a boyfriend, you have to approach it from a 360 point of view. So let go of the idea that dating apps is like weird or like shameful. I know a lot of people who have either got very serious boyfriends, myself included, off of dating apps, or they got married. And BTW, let me just say, I am the profile whisperer. I would say 8 out of those 10 people I know who got married off dating apps, I did their profile for them. Because it's really hard to like write about yourself. Like if someone was to ask you like, well, what are your hobbies? You're like, eating? I don't know. And that's how we end up with these super generic profiles. Just say like, I like having fun. I like trying new things. What the girl, come on. I've done a whole video on profiles, but if you want a little profile help on your own, like I can go through it with you and I can make it for you. Find me on the Instago app and we can do that. But let's talk about, Bumble. Bumble. I'm sorry, my bangs are, okay, look, I'm just going to put my hair behind my ears. I'm going to have to look like a big potato head for the rest of the video and you're all just going to have to deal with it. Here's why I don't like Bumble, okay? The whole deal with Bumble is that girls say hi first. And Bumble's like, hey, you're empowered. You've got the control. What's the big deal? It's just saying hi. Hear me now. If it's so not a big deal to say hi to someone with your thumbs on an app while you sit on the toilet, why can't guys do it? Here's who's on Bumble. Fuck boys. Sitting there, dicks waiting to be sucked, thinking that girls should be competing for them. That they are the hottest commodity. It's like, what do you got? Oh, that's your opening line? Oh, you went out and said that? Looking at the pictures? No. How about you? No. No is right. That's a big no from Shallon. I'm going to play devil's advocate and tell you the other side of the Bumble coin in a minute. But first, I want to bitch about it because I'm not down with this construct. If it's so not a big deal to reach out to someone, why can't guys do that for us? If that is too emotionally risky for them, if that is just like a bridge too far, that's not someone I need to be with. If he can't develop the basic human interaction skills to come to a woman and say, hi, what's your name? I saw your profile. Like, knows your name, but like, this looks cool. Did you travel to Patagonia? Is that your dog? Something. If he can't come up with a hello and a question to a person he knows absolutely nothing about, what do you think that relationship is actually going to be like? Because like I've always said, men are hunters, right? And when you picture a hunter out on the savannah, what happens if he has this idea that the wildebeest should come to him? Probably he's going to starve to death, right? That's not going to go super well for him. I don't see why dating should have to be any different. If he's too weak and too beta to approach a woman on the internet, I'm not saying he has to walk across a crowded cafeteria, like climb a mountain to meet her. Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. There it is. If he can't do that, why are we, and I've said this before, closing the gap between who he is as a man and who he needs to be? Why? Why is that our job? Because you know what? Guys don't do it for us. Who we are as women rests on our shoulders no matter what. What's a guy gonna do? Is he gonna go on birth control? No. Is he gonna get pregnant and have the babies? No. Is he gonna pick out the hostess gifts for his mom's stupid Christmas party every year? No. That is going to be you, and it will be you, and this is women's work forever. You can talk all you want about gender roles, and I'm a feminist. Girl, if you think doing a man's work is feminism and equality, you have been bamboozled by the patriarchy. That is more oppression. Because for every role of his you take on, no one is taking something from you, right? You still have to do all the girl things. The bras, the hair, the makeup, the making less than a man for the same job, less reproductive rights. We're still physically vulnerable. Like, men don't get raped the way women do. Men don't get shoved onto subway tracks the way a woman does. They don't get assaulted and slapped and hit, that doesn't happen. And that is never going to happen because men and women are not equal, not only in the eyes of society, but physically we're not. These are facts. You can stomp and scream and make a big hullabaloo about it if you want. It doesn't change it. And like I've said before, not understanding what the game is doesn't mean that you win the game. It means that the game crushes you. And when I say game, I don't mean like, oh, we have to play games with the opposite sex. No, I mean like the game of life. There are certain inalienable truths about men and women in our society that we cannot dismantle right this moment. And reaching out to a guy and chasing him isn't how we do it, girls. It's not. We dismantle that patriarchy by stopping and saying, no, I'm worth more than this. You are not going to behave this way. And if you do, you're not going to do it in my life. You can go do it in another girl's life who doesn't understand her value. We're here to understand our value. We're here to create a society and a relationship that is worthy of our standards, right? But you know what? Some of you guys probably like Bumble. I can hear the comments now. Well, fuck you. I met my boyfriend on Bumble. Okay, A, maybe I don't want your boyfriend. B, there's exceptions to every rule. So let's break this down. I actually do know 2 people who got married by meeting people on Bumble, right? Hold on, I have to pause. Like my redneck cup. Yeah, I know 2 girls who met their husbands off Bumble. One couple, they are just like the cutest, most simpatico, well-matched, even like they are just created by God for each other. And I asked her specifically, I was like, why Bumble? And she's like, well, like I wasn't having much luck on Tinder. I felt like it was just a lot of fuckboys. And then I asked him, I was like, why exactly were you on Bumble? Because here's my theory. And he said, I liked Bumble because I felt like the girls on there were more serious. And here's something interesting, which I had like never considered until I started talking to a lot of guys who are on dating apps, is one thing they run into a lot is girls who are on dating apps only just for attention, but they don't actually ever want to meet up. This like blew my mind because that's the opposite of what I want to do. And the criticisms I hear from girls is like, they say the same thing. It's like this guy, I'm falling into this like weird digital pen pal thing. Like we've been talking for 6 weeks. I'm like, what? If he's not asking you out like conversation 2, day 2, flush him. He's just looking for an ego boost. So apparently there is that population of people on dating apps, no matter what. If you are one of them, stop it. You are wasting everyone's time. Like, can you just go out and like get a hobby and like get your confidence, your ego boost that way? Do you have to like waste people's time on the internet? Like I'm wasting your time on the internet right now. It's mine. I get to do it. So he's like, the girls I found on Bumble seem to be way more serious about actually getting into a relationship. And I'm like, don't you think it's weird though that like the girls reach out? And he's like, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I think it's fine if they do. It doesn't make me think less of them or whatever. So they're okay. That's an alternate theory, alternate facts. My other friend who got married off Bumble, ooh, I think she was like a director casting a role in a play. It's time for a husband. Check. She met him and got married within a year. I think that's a little sus. Like, that is just so fast. And she's like, well, I'm older, I want to have kids. I'm like, okay, but like, do you want to have kids with someone maybe you're not actually like long-term compatible with? And maybe you don't know that after only dating them for 6 months, because we're all still kind of in the honeymoon phase. We're on our best behavior. The wet towels haven't been left on the floor yet. You know what I mean? And she was always just kind of like that girl who was like, I have to do this by 30. I have to do this by 32. She was very like, she was checking boxes. And I think her relationship with this dude is alpha and beta. They don't seem like equals. He seems very like, okay, whatever. Yeah. And what have I always said about dudes? Passive reciprocation, right? It's easy to find a guy who's like, sure, I'll respond to your message. Sure, you can come over and hook up with me. Sure, whatever. But they're not actively pursuing you. And then one day he ghosts out and you're like, oh my God, what changed? And the answer is nothing changed. He wasn't pursuing you then. He wasn't pursuing you now. He merely stopped that passive reciprocation. He just locked the door. The door was never opened and he was walking through it to get you. He just unlocked it and let you do all the walking. So their relationship that I observe is a lot like that. He seems kind of like a beta male who's just like, okay. And you know what? For some people, that works. If you're kind of ticking those boxes where you just want to like you need to get married because your sisters are all married and you need to have a baby because everyone else in your family has a baby, then like that sort of construct is probably fine for you. It is not fine for me. And if you're on my channel and if you're one of my subscribers, I dare say it's not fine for you either. So I guess my point is there's good and bad things to be found on every dating app. Certainly, Tinder is the holy grail of fuckboys. We know this. But I think I like it better because at least there we are sticking to the norms of a guy pursuing a girl. And I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, we're here to break the norms, and those are so antiquated. Hunters. Men are hunters. Everything about them, their body, why they have narrow hips. You know why men have narrower hips? So they can run farther and faster and chase down that wildebeest. They have bad peripheral vision. Women have excellent peripheral vision because we're typically the prey. We're the vulnerable ones. So we need to see around who's coming for our babies. Men have tunnel vision. They can only see like right in front of them because they're hunters. They like zero in on a target. This is not an accident. Even anatomically, the woman receives. Nature has not made mistakes in this category. And I am so tired of women thinking that equality and freedom means we once again have to take on yet another role from men. We go out and we work, right? We fix things. We cook, we clean, we raise the babies. We're funny, we're outgoing. We save the day. We're heroes, we're firefighters, we're doctors. And now we also get to be the pursuers. I don't know. That doesn't sound fun to me. I like being courted. I think I'm worth it. I want a guy to impress me with like his courtship rituals. And I give things back in return. Love, stability, awesome brownies. See, I love to talk about baking. So I don't know. I think you guys know my standpoint on chasing a boy. It just doesn't even work. They don't like it unless they're either a narcissist and a fuckboy and they want this harem of girls coming after them, or they're a beta male who never developed the skills to pursue a girl. Either case, I don't want those people in my life. If you're okay with it, cool, fine. I don't need to like necessarily like hear about it in a comment this long where you call me a bitch and anti-feminist. Okay? If you want to make a valid argument, I'm all ears. So yeah, tread lightly with Bumble. Don't make it your only thing that you do, but I don't know. I don't like the methodology. I don't think it's a good message to send to women that confidence equals chasing. It doesn't. That is more oppression. But if you guys have your Bumble love stories, obviously leave it down in the comments. If you have your Tinder love stories, I want to hear it. And tell me other like dating app questions you might have. Tell me what apps you like. Tell me what apps you don't. I want to get like familiar with all of these so like we can talk about them in more depth. And like I said, if you need a little profile judging, I'm really really good at it. Like 85% rate of return. Pretty darn good. Okay? Hit me up in the Instant Go app. And now it's time for happy endings. Right? Happy ending. Okay. So here's my tip of the day. If you guys are prone to UTIs, which so many of us are, first of all, basic hygiene things, always make sure like a guy is washing his hands. Like the best health advice I ever got was from a doctor. She's like, wash your hands whenever you enter anything. Like your house, your office, wash your hands because you've touched more things than you think. Have a guy wash his hands before he enters anything too. So if you're prone to UTIs, one of the best tips I've ever got was actually from my mom, which I guess is kind of weird. Pee after you hook up, pee after sex, and when you're done peeing, there's like this one extra little drop. It's like a half drop almost that comes out. I don't know why. I don't have scientific evidence to back this up, but this is the crucial drop. This is like the clearing drop. And every time I've not like kind of like done that drop, I've got an UTI. And every time I have, it's like, I'm good to go. So try that. And, you know, somebody said, actually, one of my friends is a nurse, and she's like, when people tell you to drink a lot of cranberry juice when you have UTI, like the cranberry juice doesn't actually do anything. It's just the fact that you're drinking a lot of stuff, so you're hydrating and flushing things out. I don't know if that's true. If you guys are doctors, feel free to comment below. And also tell me your own good hookup tips, your own UTI remedies, home remedies. We're girls, we got to share this information. You know, we got to lift the lid off of like, it's like, oh no, don't talk about our lady parts. It's like, where is that getting us? More UTIs, worse sex, more drama. Not today, Satan. Not today. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below and click like and subscribe for new videos every Friday.